Okay, it says I'm live. I'm going to start the song over. Hello and welcome to Movie Crap Live. How's it going tonight? I want to say, wait, can I hear myself? I think I can. Okay. Oh, I do. Okay, we're going to post the tweet and the skeet. And there's a lot going on, but let me say hello to Super Dusky, Cornbread, Bloxy Axwell, I don't see you, I'm sorry. Jordan Sloflo, Austin, George Tunes, Nattenbox, Alex is here somewhere, Pup, Nattenbox64, Javier Partello, Animated Caden Music and Cartoons, Nathaniel Foga, I think I saw William Ellman earlier. Caden, sorry, I'm just going to move the mic a little. Sorry if that sounded... K-Master! I made an appearance in a hit film, Kick-Assia. I don't know what you're talking about. Super Kirby Dude. Did I say Austin? Say Power? Everybody, I'm here. How's it going? I'm a minute or two early, even though I'm sort of late. So that's interesting. All right. Hello. Welcome. I'm in the kitchen. This doesn't seem right to me. Well, apparently it is. Okay, anyway. How's it going? It is a lovely Thursday tonight. Oh, Javier Partello got here before Bloxy for the Paul Blart question in the first super chat. So I don't believe. Hold on. I don't know if anyone got this, and I wanted to check. Sorry, I meant to check this, but there's a lot going on. Did anyone get this? I don't believe anyone did. Although Nathaniel Foga was in the right area. Hey, how's it going? That's good, Unbox 64. Nathaniel Foga was close, but he did not he got the right brand, but not the right... Oh, there's the price sticker on here. I'm going to take out the price sticker. No one can know. That's the real budget of the show. It's the energy drink. Wait, where's my... Sorry. C4 Starburst Strawberry. I literally just got it because I was at a store getting shampoo and I saw it and I go, let's do it. I've never done this one. Oh, whoa. Kevin James been uploading a lot recently. Hashtag Black. I didn't know that, Blacksy. I'm going to have to check it out. First off, let's give a cheers to, 2 Kevin James super chats in a row. I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope you're feeling better, Super Dusky. First, cheers to you, Javier Partello. Thank you for the first super chat of the night. He would have been better than Jared Leto in Tron. And Black Sox, Kevin James has been uploading a lot recently. Is the YouTube channel back? Because I think that'd be... I'm going to check that out later. That's interesting. I'm not the biggest C4 fan, but it was sort of just like there. I'm not a big Starburst fan either, but I just went with this. So cheers to you, Bloxy. Thank you for being here. Oh, they talked about... I must have missed that. I'm not sure which channel. I apologize. Anyway, okay. Not much is, has he's uploading shorts. Interesting. Oh yeah, the Alan Richardson movie. Not too much been going on. I watched I missed it. I missed it in general. Been watching stuff, I'm close to finishing Chainsaw Man. I'm super into that, and I'm excited for the movie. I kind of want to have a review of season 1 and then see the movie. I hope so. If it comes out the same week as that Stuckman movie, I know people probably want me to see that. Hey, Will, how's it going? I want to. I think everyone who reviews movies has to see that. I'm interested. I think half the reviews are going to be like, he did it, one of us did it, and the others will be like, fuck that guy. And I don't think they'll be anywhere in between. It'll either be fuck that guy or wow, he did it. So it'll be a lot of fun. But I don't know if I'll do I don't know how I'll do that, because I need to make a short about this, but like Showtime's seriously fuck up how I see stuff because I was going to do Tron and Roofman, and all the Roofman showtimes were like so late. So I don't know. I do actually want to see Roofman, but Nanbox4, thank you for the super chat. Says a bit has happened this week for me. Saw Tron 3 and RPX. RPX, I think of that's not IMAX but large format theaters. I like RPX, and one battle after another again. But in VistaVision, and I got Mystery Men in 4K. What sounds like a good cinema week. I haven't seen Mystery Men in a long time, and I don't know if I feel like my friends and I talked over it. So yeah, cheers to you, Nanbox4, and thank you for that flipper super, and welcome to the show. So I did see Tron. I did see Tron, and I'll have a review out hopefully next week. Um, but yeah, the Showtimes thing can really fuck up my show. I don't have a ton of time. It's usually like I'm going to see a movie that night, and I probably could have seen Good Boy or something, um, which I kind of wish I had, to be totally honest with you. But I was like, I'm tired, and I wanted to, I don't know, get something done and all that. But whatever. There isn't going to be a seeing Tron Ares video because that was the time lapse thing. And because I did that, there's no intro. So, but I'd always wanted to do that time lapse thing. So that is sort of the seeing Tron Ares video. If you, in case you're, I don't know if you care or not, if you get a seeing movie video, but I just wanted to clear that up. Hey, I will say this. I will say this, Alex. If you say, or Punk Guy, I'm not sure what I should call you. I apologize. I will say, I did appreciate listening to that soundtrack in a theater with theater speakers. That was like I don't think I'm spoiling the review by saying the best part of Tron Ares is listening to the soundtrack, which is my favorite part of Tron Legacy as well. So, and I'm a real one. I literally, this isn't a joke. I actually listened to the original Tron soundtrack. I listened to all three because I was like, I like the Daft Punk score, and I wanted to listen to the original score because I was like, well, I'm doing the other two, why not? And I like the original score. That's sort of by the London Symphony Orchestra and sort of by the woman who did, I think, the Clockwork Orange score as well. But anyway, I listened to all three, and I think between I like the Daft Punk and Nine Inch Nails are the better ones. But and hello, the KKVB. How's it going? All right. All right. So the two movies I guess I'll do. I use my Regal. I have a Regal membership, but it's more because those are the theaters closest to me. I actually saw, and I'm gonna admit that I saw two kind of horror movies. I don't think I'm not planning on reviewing them, so I'll just talk about it. One was Urban Legend, which was not great, but I'd never seen it. But I didn't know Rebecca Gayheart was gonna go that hard in it. But it was I like Alicia Witt though. She's got some cool movie bona fide. She's in at least three Lynch things I can think of, and also in a John Waters movie. So can't get better than that. Wendy Carlos did the okay. Thank you, Rocket Lomax, and thank you for being here. No, Wendy Carlos did a great job. And then the more interesting one, although it's not interesting, is I saw Blair Witch 2 for the first time ever. I probably should do a review of it at some point. I'm kind of working on other stuff, maybe another year, but I've always heard people saying things like, you know what, it's actually better than the Blair Witch. Those people are fools. That movie fucking sucks. I do not get hey Will, how's it or hey Dan, sorry. It's hey Dan, how's it going? I got confused. Long night. It's like if 90s horror was like, no, fuck you, we can make a better Blair Witch, and it's like, no, you couldn't. Late 90s horror, you were very bad. You were very bad. It was like it was it was not good. I think it had some cool ideas, but it just like it's so into being a late 90s horror movie in not a good way. It's sort of interesting to see, like, it's almost like Hollywood's like, no, we can do better, but they do it with like the most cliched crap possible, and you're like, oh, I see why the Blair Witch was a big deal. I get it now. I get it why this blew up, and most late 90s horror you don't really want to talk about when it's not the Scream movies. It's like, it's very clear. And also they have like, I love the performative, very knowing gosh, goth girl, which I think at the time was cool. And now I'm like, Jesus, like when she shows up and she's smoking on the headstone, I'm like, too much, lady, Jesus. When I was a kid, that would have been cool, but now I don't know. But very much like all the cliches you didn't want in a Blair Witch brought back. So it's also weird, like they didn't think do a found footage movie for the sequel. But anyway, we'll see if we ever get another Blair Witch. Blair Witch 4. I guess there's 3. And I've heard the prospects of them. No, I will say I rewatched the Scooby Doo Project after. I was like, Scooby Doo Project's legitimately good. No, I know the director of Blair Witch 2 is a famous documentarian, and studio wise, that's not a bad director choice. But I don't know. I heard the studio fucked with it and stuff. It just comes off as just an average late 90s horror movie. And it's like the whole time I felt like some parts I was watching a documentarian, but for the most part, he was just making a studio horror movie that was unremarkable. It's kind of, I do think it was like such a come down, but also like culturally, that movie like came and went so quickly. It was like by Halloween, people were over it. But but I think it's because they put it out early. They got it out on video on I will sorry, this is, I know sometimes you like Jim Rants. I hope you're into this. What happened with Blair Witch, because I saw it in an early screening and I was super into it, and then it blew up, and then it came out on video on Halloween, so you could rent it on Halloween and stuff. And like everyone I know at a party watched it, but that is not a good party horror movie at all. And um, um, yeah, I think it sort of hurt the movie because people are expecting like Scream is a great party horror movie, but Blair Witch you kind of need to be in a dark theater or by yourself, just not bad choice. And I think it kind of soured. I remember a lot of kids hating it at high school, but you know what? Those kids also thought it was real, so I don't think we should have been valuing their opinions anyway. All right. What was I gonna say? This past week we had a bunch of video. I'll just talk about the videos and then we'll get through it. 20 days later, that was from the summer. Sorry, the lighting is weird. I was experimenting with something. It's better in other videos that are in that location. I figured it out since then. I don't know if 28 years later will come out this month or in January. I've already filmed the first one of those. And then what was the other? The Family Guy thing. And the throwback was The Place Beyond the Pines. Tomorrow there's probably gonna be 2 things, but it'll be like shorts. One's a very short thing, and you know how like under 10 seconds, and then another short, because I'm trying to make a full review for Saturday. Just want to let you know about that. There will not be a throwback, obviously, on Friday. I think that's it. I think it's Mallrats. Mallrats' his anniversary is this Sunday or around this week. So Sunday's throwback will be Mallrats. Just so you know. So yeah, even though it's the video wasn't too long ago, but I feel like it's worth it. It's been 30 years. Fuck. Is it really? I don't know about that. Maybe I'll watch the MTV. I don't know if I need to watch Mallrats again, but then watch my ass watching Mallrats on Sunday. All right, Austin. Thank you for the super chat. Said Jared Leto didn't kill Tron. Tron has 13 fans. Everyone only really likes it for the soundtrack, and those fans is the Tron guy. Austin, what did Tron do to you, bro? What is that? Holy shit! You just like went in on the Tron. I was Austin. Damn, son. That's okay. That you did not hold back on that. Jesus. It's to you. I like the harshness. I will get into the Tron stuff. Alex, I did not need to know that. I'm not going to tell you how old I was. I was older. Anyway, all right. Damn. Okay. All right. I mean, you're not wrong, though. All right. Sorry. You guys, this is a nice way to end my day. I gotta be honest. All right. This and everything I do is supported by you, the fans, either through Super Chats during the show. I'll drink this wonderful C4. Let's show it to the world. There's C4 Starburst energy drink. Or you can do my Patreon, which has all sorts of cool stuff, like my commentary series, which I think something was posted sort of recently. You have more power in the movie review vote. You get postcards, which will be sent out soon for this month. You get all sorts of exclusive stuff. You get access to exclusive videos. All sorts of cool stuff like that. It helps me do what I do. It helps me juice things. I'm actually going to get one of those cool, handy TikTok-y mics soon. So it helps me be able to keep doing the show. I have flyers, which I put up actually a few today. All sorts of stuff like that. So if you want to help me continue to spread love of the show and help me to continue to do this, it's a very nice way to do so. Or super chats. And if we get up to 20, every multiple $20 we do, I'll let the lights go all flashy for a little bit, which hopefully won't mess up the stream or anything. And then, and I will be very congratulatory for you doing this for my Home Depot lights, which are cool. Anyway, Gary, I'll get to you. But if you do not have any, cannot do a super chat, cannot donate to the Patreon, if you just like this video or subscribe, that also helps out a lot. And also, if you want to see more of my stuff, or like, hey, he talks about all these videos, I never get to watch them, or I never can keep up, it's a great way to do that. You also get my community posts and everything like that. It helps me spread keep the show going, and the algorithm likes me and stuff. But if you're just watching this, you don't even have an account, and there are actual people like this, I'm not joking, by the way. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your views. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching me go on about my bullshit. Before we get to Discord, I didn't forget. Jim, it's your old pal Gary. I've informed New Line Cinema about your aggressions against me. First off, if you can get David Zaslav to care about me stealing your DVD that you left out on the street, I highly doubt that. But David Zaslav is petty, so I wouldn't buy it. But you know what? Maybe you shouldn't have left it on the street when you went back into your apartment to get more things and then said, hey, Jim, make sure nobody steals this. And I said, well, you didn't say me not doing that. And I did it anyway. Also, I have that one yearbook from high school. Not the embarrassing one, but the one you're sort of proud of but wish you forgot. I didn't bring that up till now, but I have it. Anyway, point is the Discord. If you like the community here, it's a great community. You should join the Discord. It has all sorts of cool stuff, like the licensed playing card channel with these Scooby-Doo cards. They do movie watches every week. I have no clue what they're doing this week. I'm sorry. I asked them, what do you want me to talk about in movie crap? They tell me, basically. There's movie discussion channels. There's game discussion channels, apparently. There's all sorts of cool stuff, and it's run very well by Ryan Walterson, Austin, Zane Powers, and Cornbread, and they do a fucking awesome job. What are you doing? Chicken Little! I've never seen that. All I know is every animator I know thought it was lame, and that's all I know. So, you're friends with Mike DeLuca? Oh, he's Jib friends with Mike. Sorry. I've never seen Chicken Little, so I have no real judgment on that. To be clear, I'm sorry if I did just judge it. There was something. Oh, I am going to later talk about Hell's Bells, which is the artistic follow-up to the Skeleton Dance. I posted a YouTube link. However, I watched it on the greatest streaming service you've ever heard of. Hello, Medela Butterfly, called Wikipedia. You can literally watch the Hell's Bells short on Wikipedia. That's what I do. Anyway, Jesus, Austin, what did Tron Ares do to you, man? All right, let's get into the topics. The first one, and this just happened yesterday. Jim Carrey is in talks to star in a Jetsons live-action movie from Colin Trevorrow. I do not understand why that's happening. Apparently, it's by Trevorrow and Joe Epstein, not Epstein. Just to be clear. We don't really know much about this. To be honest, they've been talking about this forever. And everyone from Robert Rodriguez to Conrad Vernon, I guess from the DreamWorks stuff, and there was a ABC pilot at one point, and all this stuff. I just don't. No, it's a Silly Symphony, Medela Butterfly. I get like Jim Carrey with family stuff, and families do love Mr. Carrey, and I understand that. But I also think the problem is Uh, I don't think Jim Carrey's a good choice for this. I sort of think like a sort of Peyton Reed, like if it was Down with Love, like a futurism of the '60s, like Fantastic Four could kind of work. But it told me it told me it would take 30 seconds to get to Mars. Oh man, are you still on your way there? Cheers to you. I do love that joke though. Man, nobody hates anything as much as Austin hates Tron, apparently. Um, but I could see it working. But the problem is, here's two things: is uh, Jim Carrey is miscast and probably too old to play George Jetson at this point. I actually think Ty Burrell from Modern Family, he would be a great George Jetson. But I just don't. I do, I also think I've watched the Jetsons because of MeTV Tunes. I watched it with my kids. The other thing is you got to decide: are you doing '60s Jetson or are you doing the '80s syndicated Jetsons, which I think is actually more popular at this point. But I also think the Jetsons kind of sucks. It's not the Flintstones. The Flintstones is like, I know it's a lot of times it's like Fred and Barney go on a thing that the honeymooners did or whatever, but it's in the Stone Age. Like that's fine. I'm down with that. But like the Jetsons sucks, man. Like the Jetsons is not very good. I just don't really get like what the appeal would be. Like I get like if you want to do there's a lot of other Hanna-Barbera characters. Who is the guy? Is it Peter Potamus, the guy who's in the air balloon? Like, come on, let Herzog do that. Let's get some existentialism in this shit. But like Jetsons, I just don't see it. I don't think it's that good of a show. Rewatching it, we kind of got sick of it. And then BTV Tunes like put it in like a shittier time slot, which I think is accurate. I just don't think it but I get like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is very talented and he can move like a cartoon, but like unless he was playing I just don't get like I don't know. The other thing is like Hanna-Barbera is very simple kind of animation and story-wise and all that stuff. And it's just like Flintstones work because Flintstones was a cultural moment. I think before it's one of the few animated things that got a best comedy nomination at the Emmys. It was a big deal. But a lot of this stuff, it just like I just don't think it's a good idea unless you have a really good take or something. But it wasn't Dan, wasn't the Hong Kong Fooey, wasn't that going to be Eddie Murphy involved or something? See, that could have worked. I could see that Eddie Murphy as the voice of Hong Kong Fooey. But it's just like I don't know. I think Hanna-Barbera, like Jellystone, you could do a Jellystone type movie, but I just don't. Black Saxonal says, wasn't Sony supposed to do a Jetsons movie years ago? Yes, I have actually. There's been so many. I'm surprised someone's probably going to make a video that's just like all the versions of the Jetsons that have been tried over the years, and it's been a lot. There's been a lot of attempts. So this sounds like because Colin Trevorrow, because he, despite not really being very good, but it also feels like I don't know. I feel like he's better in the room or his scripts are better because I never like Jurassic World. Everyone was like he should have done Rise of Skywalker, but then he did Jurassic World Dominion, and that was equally as bad. So I don't. Anyway, cheers to you, Blacksea. Thank you very much. Wasn't there a Huckleberry Hound movie for Nathaniel Fogel? There was the one I reviewed, which was syndicated but wasn't really played in theaters, or at least in what the fuck? Why is there an ad playing during? What was that? That was weird. I didn't know it did that. Does it do that? That's okay. Um, Sorry. But it was just syndicated. It wasn't released in theaters, or I don't think it ever, maybe internationally or something. Anyway, cheers to you. I mean, that's a little better than interrupting the stream. I didn't know. Anyway, sorry. I think Huckleberry Hound thing with him is you could get like if you did a mumblecore movie with Huckleberry Hound, it'd be honestly awesome. But I don't see it. Hopefully it's better than the Book of Henry. Man, Austin is like going for it. You better watch out, guys. Cheers to you, Austin. It's funny. It's funny. I don't hate it. No, Colin Trevorrow. I mean, I guess he's probably going back to his roots. That Audrey Plaza time travel thing. I do not remember the name. So time travel thing, wasn't it like it was something? I don't know. Fucking, you know who we have to blame for Colin Trevorrow. This isn't even a joke. Um, Brad Bird, because Brad Bird hired him uh to look over when he was gonna do Force Awakens. He said all of Colin Trevorrow handled pre-production, and that's what introduced him to Gary Marshall, who's married to Kathleen Kennedy. So it's fucking Brad Bird's man. After he made Mission Impossible, the fall off. No, JJ came on later after they got rid of Brad Bird, but for a little bit it was Brad Bird, and I'm still like, I wonder what his Star Wars would have been. Doesn't can't Bullets and Blockbusters or whatever it is? Can't they tell me? I wouldn't mind. You know what? I wouldn't mind a Space Ghost thing. I wouldn't mind. I love Space Ghost. Anyway, I'm just not. I'm not into this Jetsons thing. I've heard Robert Rodriguez is involved. And I can sort of see it with the Spy Kids kind of thing. But you really like. I think Ty Burrell is the only one. Like, unless someone has a better idea, I think Ty Burrell, unless you get him to do George Jetson, and obviously Danny DeVito plays Spacely or whatever. But like, unless you can get him, you really have to nail that lead. Because I think if you watch, I don't love the Jetsons, but I watch enough to know it's very centered around him, and you rarely much have to do it unless. And I don't know, who are you going to get to do the wife? Like, maybe Isla Fisher could do it actually, but I don't know. I don't know. And then Sydney Sweeney is Judy. No, it'd probably be Jenna Ortega or something. Sorry, I shouldn't say. Every movie thing I listen to, they're like, young girl, Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, just put her in every time. I think Conan's too funny. The thing is, George isn't funny. That's the thing. George himself can't be funny. I don't like the Jets. Who the fuck cares? All right, X-Men 97 at a New York Comic Con thing. And so we learned a bunch of stuff. I saw a very shitty cam recording of the trailer, which of course I watched. I've been to New York Comic Con once. It was fun. I don't have that kind of money. The one time I got to go, I didn't have to pay money. That's why I got to go, basically. But what we got from the X-Men 97 trailer is uh we learned it's going to be a lot of time travel shit, a lot of apocalypse stuff. I think that could be really cool. X-Men kind of sort of has like a bunch of different kinds of stories, but I think what I was like as a kid is X-Men. I did enjoy the when they're talking about racism or sexism and all that stuff. But then they'll do ones where like we're just going to travel through time and stuff, or we're going to fight the Brood and I'll get to Jesus. Don't worry. I didn't forget about the Jeebus. Um, uh, I kind of enjoy that because it's sort of like I like the kind of break of it. Like the X-Men are like in the outback with Gateway was my favorite shit when I was a kid. So I'm enjoying the season 2 is going to go balls to wall into the time travel stuff, which I think is going to be really cool. We're only getting 9 episodes this time apparently, which I'm fine with, to be honest. And then it's going to be in summer 2026. I keep seeing, I didn't, okay, I'm not, I won't talk about Peacemaker because I don't really understand because I didn't see the finale, so I won't. But X-Men, I'm fine with being 9 episodes. I saw that one of the images was people in the X-Men 97 animation, but it looked like an image from Pride of the X-Men, which if they are actually doing that, I think that's like a really fun idea. Oh, hey, Rat Boy Mickey. I think that would be a lot of fun. So I'm excited. I'm really interested. And apparently it was picked up for season 3. So there is going to be a 3rd season. I have noticed since that Comic-Con panel and since that did get a lot of attention, there seems to be this Marvel division thing because I think Marvel. Oh, I didn't plug in my charger. Fuck. Okay, I need to do that. We'll take a break after this. Once, well, sorry, it just hit me. Um, uh, there seems to be a vision because X Men can kind of sort of just be its own thing. And so I think there's like kind of like you don't really need the other continuity. You can just do your own X Men weirdness, and that's fine. But everything I saw from this panel looked really cool to me, so I'm sort of down. For season 2, from what I've seen, of course I'm down. I guess next summer I will start watching. I'll start reviewing X Men, the original season 3. I know those aren't as popular, or whatever. But I want to review every season of the original show, so I'm going to. Um, the other thing with the X Men movie news is we learned that the early May 2028 release date that Marvel has. The rumor is that is the X Men date. That'll be after it was Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and it's always been said that right after Secret Wars they want to launch X Men. The other factor of that date is 20 years after Iron Man, and the 20 years after Iron Man started, and this is sort of like, okay, now we're resetting and starting with X Men, which I think that makes a lot of sense. You can be more mutant focused. Um, uh, and Bloody. Uh, we can be more mutant focused and all that stuff. Oh, we are over 20. I'm sorry about that. I will do that after I put the charger in. Apologies. Which I think will be cool if that is actually what they are doing. But we have known for a while that after Secret Wars that we're going to do X-Men. People are saying like November or some shit. I'm assuming that isn't true. Maybe there is Black Panther 3s happening after that. I don't know. Maybe the Sam Raimi movies happening after that. I do think taking some time and starting the X-Men then is probably a better move. Like giving us a little bit of a break. But we'll see if that happens. There's a lot of development. It might be true right now at this moment, but then, by the time we get to 2027, situations change and it comes out even later, it comes out even earlier. They always do like to rush X-Men films sometimes, so we'll see about that. I'm going to plug in my charger. I'm sorry about that. It's a very quick break, and then I will do the flashy lights, and then I'll talk about Batman Nightfall cartoon. Hold on, one second. Oh, that wasn't good. I probably should have muted the mic. Some people don't hear stuff. Okay. Hello, I'm back. Apologies. All right. Everyone's having ice cream? Cool. What happened to the camera there? All right, let's move you back. There we go. Get all Izzy in there. All right. We're good. Okay, I'm gonna do the lights. We are at $20, so you guys, thank you very much for the. Okay, there we go. We'll do this through the next couple things. And then, if we do it again, we do it again. If not, we not, I guess. All right. Where were we? Okay. There is apparently, this was revealed. We'll sort of come back and forth the New York Comic Con stuff. But it was revealed there's going to be a Batman Nightfall cartoon. There's going to be a multi-part thing on HBO Max. The first one is going to come out in 2026. We do not know what date in 2026, but it will happen within 2026. Was what an ad? Did I play an ad? What happened? I'm confused. I don't see an ad. Anyway, it sounds really cool to me. I grew up I was reading comics during the 90s comic boom and stuff, so I was reading that Batman. It was really exciting about Azrael and all that stuff. I didn't like the Death of Superman movies. I watched both of those, and that was not good. And they kind of like made Superman and Lois like they just started going out, which was a weird choice. As long as they just directly do the comics, I think it would be fine. The closest thing we've gotten to the Nightfall thing is Dark Knight Rises. And I'm assuming the first one would just be Bane, and Bane breaks his back, and then, end of movie, and then we come back to Azrael in the second one. I'm just assuming from my memory of it from 30 years ago. I'm sure that's like accurate. But I do think I don't know. I think you could do good with it. Apparently, they are sort of hyping it up, and they're like, we've never actually done this story before. It's never been fully done in this way, which I'm like, it really hasn't, and especially Azrael, who was a bigger deal at the time. So I do hope it's actually pretty good. Maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll actually read it. I didn't review Death of Superman. I watched it around the time of recently, but wasn't very good. All right, let's do. This is going to be the K-pop Demon Hunters section. Also, I'm sorry I didn't do timestamps last week. Friday was crazy, and I go, I'll do it Saturday night. I sat down to do it, and I saw the numbers. I was like, I think everyone's watched this already, so I think it's kind of too late. So I apologize. I'm going to try to do it tomorrow. There's always too much to do, but it was not like. Anyway, I think I might have some time to do some of it tonight, but no promises. It was going to be who knows, it'll be a long show. I should never say that. Drink, I guess. All right. I didn't see the Red Sun one. There's a bunch. I don't mind watching them. They're to be honest, I kind of enjoy them. Watching any animated superhero thing, I'm a little more into that than I don't know. It seems like it. I always like going to the world. I like the New Frontier though. That was actually pretty good. All right, K-pop Demon Hunters. So first off, apparently, the directors actually talked about and shat on the live action remake, or they say live action adaptation. They said there's so many elements of tone and the comedy that are so suited for animation. It's really hard to imagine these characters in a live action world. This is from the director of K-pop Demon Hunters. It would feel too grounded, so totally it wouldn't work for me. And they call it, one of the other director called it an ill-conceived idea. One of the great things about animation is you make these compositions of impossibly great attributes. Rumi could be this goofy comedian, then singing and doing a spinning back kick a second later, and then free falling through the sky. The joy of animation is how far you can push and elevate what's possible. I remember they adapted a lot of different animes, and oftentimes it just feels a little stilted, which is a nice way to put that shit. I'm glad they are coming out and shitting on this because I do not want a K-pop Demon Hunters live action remake. If you had like an actual take, or if it was the Wachowskis, do it. If you can't get the Wachowskis, don't do it. I just don't see anyone. I don't know. I think live action remakes suck. So I don't really get it. I know. I don't know. Netflix is so like hungry for content. I can see them doing it, but it seems like most animation people are completely against it. Which they should be. K-pop Demon Hunters is now the most watched Netflix program ever. It's beat everything apparently in terms of like being watched or whatever, even though Netflix inflates those numbers, but I believe it. Or Edgar Wright could, yeah, I think he could, but I don't know. Maybe. Hold on, I should. Well, let me finish this K-pop. Sorry. As well as AMC and Netflix have finally worked out a deal to work together. They're going to release K-pop Demon Hunters is hitting theaters Halloween weekend. There really isn't a lot coming out that weekend, but also Halloween is on a Friday. I can't imagine what. I did see his video and I liked it actually. They did work out a deal, so Netflix and AMC are actually going to work together and get K-pop Demon Hunters in AMC theaters. This is a big deal. Actually, when I first saw their logos, I was like, oh fuck, did Netflix buy AMC? But I think it's good. I think it'll be good for streaming in the future. And if Netflix actually does end up buying Warner Brothers, maybe there'll actually be a future there. Hold on. I'm sorry I'm taking so many breaks. We're gonna, once I get back, sorry, one second. All right. Okay. Ooh. All right, let me turn that back. So we get another, no, this one. This one, I like, there. If we get another $20, I'll have it flashy flashing in, but thank you for your contribution so far. Sorry, this is a interesting stream. All right, what was I going to say? Okay, so in Jesus news, Jim Caviezel, who was the star of Passion of the Christ as the Passion and I guess the Christ, is being recast as well as Monica Bellucci as Mary. And so we're going to see them recast a Jesus in the 2-part Jesus movie. Now, or Mel Gibson Passion of the Christ sequels. Now I think there's a lot of choices you have. I had 3 choices, and I'm going to reveal them now. And if anyone in chat has their choice of who they should play Jesus. But I think first we have Jared Leto. Obviously, he's not going to be in any big movies other than actually Masters of the Universe, so he's sort of fine there. But he could, he's got the hair. He could do Jesus. The Rock. It doesn't make sense, but he's like an actor now. He said he's doing the Safdie's thing. But I think we all know who you want me to say. I think we all know. Kevin James should be Jesus. And I think Kevin James should be Mary as well. In fact, I actually think fire everyone and just hire Kevin James. Just Kevin James across the board. Like Kevin James should be Judas, the other apostles maybe, anybody. Just get Kevin James or Alex to be Jesus. By the way, happy birthday, man. Tom Green for Jesus, I'm okay with that. But I really think Kevin James. Kevin James is Jesus. Maybe I could be, I don't want to be Jesus. But Kevin James, he'd kill it. Kevin, The Rock is not Jesus. I just don't, I don't know, not my thing, but it was funny that they're having to recast Jesus because they waited too long. And also, I mean, this is weird to say, but Jim Caviezel probably has enough sway to like get paid better, and they're probably like, ooh, no, sorry, get away. You were in a hit a couple years ago. That's expensive. But it does it's supposed to take place like 2-3 days later. So obviously but it was also couldn't he get away with that? Couldn't he be like, I'm older because of heaven or something? I don't know. So it works. It's fine. It's made up anyway. I mean, sorry, it's not made up. Anyway, point. Sorry, I shouldn't talk about religion. It's not. It's a real thing, and yeah. This is no, I think it doesn't matter, but I think it's funny. Anyway, Kevin James should play him. I should move away from this topic. Okay, sorry. Handle words, I like that. All right, we got a trailer. I am a little sassy tonight. I think we're all a little sassy tonight. We have 3 trailers I want to talk about. We'll have another trailer section later. This isn't our such atheist thing, St. Myers. How are you doing? Okay. We are going to talk about some funny things. I do have to have a lengthy Obits section, and then we'll talk about Obits later. Jesus, a lot of people died this week. Anyway, first, trailers. The trailer for Sam Raimi's latest film, Send Help. It looks really good. Rachel McAdams and her boss get stuck on an island together, and they who's played by Dylan O'Brien. I actually think this is a great showcase for both of them. Rachel McAdams doesn't get to show off in a fun way. I know her and Sam Raimi apparently liked working together on Doctor Strange. I think this sounds like a fun kind of Sam Raimi thing. I was thinking about A Simple Plan is one of the Sam Raimi ones we don't talk enough about, but I do think is probably if we're gonna rank his movie. I mean, the problem is Sam Raimi has a lot of really Spider-Man 2, Evil Dead 2, kind of movies. So it's like hard to like break through that because there's so many. He's already done a lot of great work, but A Simple Plan's like like his indie movie and stuff like that. Um, what are these ladies? Anyway, I just think it looks really good. I was like, January is going to be interesting, but that looks like prime kind of Sam Raimi territory. So I'm excited. I'm very excited for that. Actually, it looked really good. The other trailer, and this I didn't even know was coming from the studio that brought you Mind Game, is All You Need Is Kill. And if you know about Edge of Tomorrow, that is the manga or book that Edge of Tomorrow is based on. Uh, this is jeez, Johnny Depp is. I mean, why not at this point? So it's actually a completely different version of the Edge of Tomorrow story. It looks really cool. I'm actually really for. I think first off, it should go. It should not go animation live action. It should go live action animation. That sounds interesting. I don't understand why we do it the other way. That sounds stupid to me. Like let the animators do that. I think the animators could do a better job. Let's see. Let's see. We're doing it the reverse way. There's no date for it. Comes out in January in Japan. I don't think we have a release date in Cinerama's Jesus. I'm cool with it. I don't think he's here tonight, but anyway. Darkman's up there. Darkman's up there. But it looked really cool actually. It was kind of surprised to see that we're getting an All You Need Is Kill anime movie, but it's like a different adaptation of the book, not really a version of the American uh, movie with Tom Cruise. But that's interesting. I think it's interesting. I would like to, contrast and compare them. And for some reason, I did not watch this trailer for last week, and I have no clue why. But Die My Love, the Lynn Ramsey movie, I'm very excited for that. That looks really good. Jennifer Lawrence looks amazing in it. Pattinson, not as much, but it looks like a really interesting movie. I like Lynn Ramsey a lot. I need to finally edit the review I did of the movie with Joaquin Phoenix that she did. Maybe I'll do it around that time. But which I shot I didn't have a beard. It was pre-COVID, I think. Yeah, it looks really good. I'm all for Jennifer Lawrence. I like Jennifer Lawrence a lot, and I think her and Lynn Ramsey working together could be really interesting. And it was a really good trailer. So I apologize I didn't talk about it last. It's hard to get to everything, give it its own time and space, and like look into it and stuff. But I apologize for that. I don't know why that happened, but Die My Love is coming out, I think, next month. Okay, I'm going to talk about this one thing, and then we'll go through kind of an Obits thing, and then box office / Tron Aries discussion. So this has kind of come up, and I know Velskabum is a little bit behind talking about this, but I've seen other people talk about this, and actually I learned that the official Twitter account of the people who run Do Among Us were talking about this. So there is a completed Owen Dennis, the creator of Infinity Train, who also worked on Regular Show, who was on Pizza Party that one time, which is obviously the most famous thing. Sorry, I don't know why I brought that up. But he made an Among Us cartoon that was finished. They're just looking for a network. And we have heard nothing for almost a year. And then a fan, so supposedly how this all worked out, and I want to explain this here. A fan thing posted something about it. And then the studio that owns Among Us, or whatever it is, developer, responded to it and was like, we're still working on it and stuff like that. So there has been some like, hey, what's going on with Among Us, because this cartoon is done and it's done by Owen Dennis, and that sounds like a cool cartoon. It's like Elijah Wood in it and stuff, but right now it does not have like a streamer. No one's sure where it's going. So there is no real update on this. I think the update is there is no update. I think it's kind of surprising it's been this long. I just wanted to acknowledge it. It has been talked about, and I think we'd all like I don't know. I mean, the fact that people would respond to it, I think, makes it a little more notable. If they're at least acknowledging it, I think that's what blew it up. But it did feel like a lot of people were kind of like, let's make this into a story this week, which I sort of disagree with, unless they like found new information. You know what I mean? Like if it like Owen Dennis said, yeah, I don't know, man, and there was a quote, but it seemed like a totally manufactured, to me. Okay, I'm not going to talk shit on the Velsky Bum guy or whatever, but it very much felt like a manufactured story to gain interest when, like, this has been a bit, I think there's a lot to talk about, but sometimes it can be a little slow, and I understand that, but I just think, I don't know, if there had been something at New York Comic Con, or like someone refused to answer something, I'm with you, but like, don't man, or if there's like, hey, what's been going on kind of article, but just feels a little like a thing made to do a thing. So no offense to anyone doing that, but I just it didn't. I don't fully get like what we're doing here with that. But I do agree it is not out. I will agree with you on that. It has been a very long time, and there is no update. And them acknowledging it makes it into a thing. But I just want to. I like to point out when I find things sus, and I found the whole looking into this, the whole thing, how it was brought up and stuff, a little sus. You know what I mean? It's just anyway. All right. There were a lot of major people who died this past week, and there's really no good way to do this. So this is going to be, I guess, sort of. I will try to do a, um, what? Wait. This stems from Cartoon Base, and then Val made a video because they pressured the Among Us people into saying something by spreading a false report. Oh, what the fuck? I didn't know that. Okay. I mean, I guess they got to say something, but it just don't be doing that. That's just like it kind of makes me look at you as a narcissist. Anyway, let's get into it. I was going to talk about this guy first. D'Angelo passed away this week. This is a bit of a. All of these were a shock, for the most part. Well, it doesn't matter if they're shock or not. But D'Angelo, who's one of the great R&B singers of the '90s and 2000s, passed away unexpectedly this past week. I actually prefer his first album to his second, but that's don't take that as anything. I do actually like R&B. Questlove was very uh instrumental in those albums, and I think those albums, like the second one, I know they very much studied like black musicians, and were really trying to, like Jimi Hendrix, James Brown, all this stuff, make this big masterpiece of an album. It very much feels like it. I do not know the third one at all. That's not a criticism. I just haven't gotten to it personally. But I think he's a great singer. I think he was underrated. If you really want to talk about like why he didn't make more music, read up on how he felt after that video with the shirt off and stuff. But he was an absolute legend. A great R&B singer, a great singer in general. Probably one of the most pure R&B singers we have, and very much was an auteur R&B singer. A lot of them, this isn't a criticism artistically, but were not what he was. He was someone who built the music, built the performance. Like all of things were from this kind of big artistic mind, and you just don't see that enough in R&B. And I think he, I wish there were more people like that. I know that's not how that genre goes most of the time, and that's like just how it is. But like he was a very unique, amazing singer, and as much as people tried to put him in neo soul or R&B or something, he just like almost like artistically refused. He was very much like, even the Untitled song was nothing like anything else on MTV or radio or anything. He's just really undefinable, great classic talent. He felt like the new kind of Marvin Gaye or something. It's very sad to see him go. And a great Atlanta episode about where he was. Jesus, this is like, I should listen to them all. Thank you for bringing that up, man, Boxy. All right, we'll get through this, guys. All right, I definitely want to talk this because it's like rough. All right, Diane Keaton. Holy shit, Diane Keaton passed away at 79 years old this weekend. So apparently was of pneumonia. I know the family was keeping it quiet for a few days, but it did. They talked about it on the news last night, so I think I can speak on this. But she Diane Keaton, for me, she was in Annie Hall. She was the wife in The Godfather. I mean, I think like that ending scene of The Godfather, looking at her face, is one of the most tragic endings of all cinema. Even though I think most people think of her for Annie Hall, which AMC is bringing back to theaters as well as something got to give this weekend, I believe. But her work with Woody Allen especially, and I know that's like part of makes this a little hard to talk about, but I think most people find, regardless of Woody Allen and his actions, still a classic. I will bring up Ace Frehley's at the end. Don't worry. I have a whole thing on Kiss. Don't worry, guys. But she just felt like the perfect like comedic foil. She felt like the perfect dramatic actress. She felt like her own kind of woman. Like almost every mom I knew growing up when I was getting into '70s movies loved her, thought she was amazing. She could play off so many different people, like from Warren Beatty and Reds, to I mean, it's like, I want to bring up Baby Boom, but to me, Baby Boom, as most people bring up, is actually a movie that the Coen brothers were really bored while watching, and so they made Barton Fink, which to me is like Baby Boom. I only know because it played on TBS too much, but like she was great in like Marvin's Room, which we don't really hear her talk about. It's like Meryl Streep and Leonardo DiCaprio. Like she was just, and she was always like so much herself, kind of like post second wave feminism kind of actress in a way that like we don't um, really see such a unique personality in that way. I think so many of the women who wrote about her were like, she was just like, you felt like she was someone who could just like pick up a bunch of random shit in her closet and like make it work, but it was like part of her kooky personality. Like, I don't think want to say something like she was the original manic pixie dream girl kind of thing, but she like was part Hepburn, part comedic genius, part amazing dramatic actress. Like, there's just like there was only one of her, and she was like, but also like an extreme intelligence to her that I think was like extremely underrated. I mean, it's kind of like everyone wants to go, oh, it was Annie Hall, it was this, but like her performance in The Godfather is amazing. Her performance in like The Reds is really good. Like she's an amazing actress. She was an amazing actress, and it's sad to see her go. I'm glad you again. Like I know we're talking about all these people. Look, like I always say this when we talk about the Obits, but use this as your excuse. While everyone's making lists and writing all these things about them and republishing reviews and stuff, use this as a way to get into. You've never seen if Annie Hall's still a big major classic. I know Woody Allen, all that stuff, but 100%. If you've never seen Annie Hall, if you only see one Woody Allen movie, that is the one, and it's still really good. I'm not 100% as into all of his material as one would think, but Annie Hall is very good. But also like, oh yeah, First Wives Club. But also, if you've never seen The Godfather, I know like it's every basic film person's thing, but like just see it. It's a good movie. Who the fuck cares? Anyway, Drew Struzan. I think I can't do a movie streaming show and not talk about him. What he did for poster art from Star Wars to Indiana Jones to the first Harry. I think he just did the first Harry Potter. To Phantom Menace to so many. He was truly a genius of movie poster paintings. I think one of the few who could do realistic stuff that also like the layout of it, his draftsmanship, everything was absolutely stunning and amazing. The way he brought those like he brought the epicness to those posters, like him, like the big face with all the little people lying. No one can do that as good as him. He was the poster artist who made Lucas and Spielberg in that era, and you could see it throughout all of his work. He was so ingenious at how he laid those things out because you see other people do it and it fails completely because he was so good at it. Just an amazing world class artist. I mean, I always felt like you kind of like there's so many people who try to do what does and never can get the epic feel of it because he got the vibe of the movie, the fun of the movie, the importance of the movie. It was all in his drawings, and he passed away this past week. And RIP to him. And then finally, I'm sorry. I didn't want to leave these at the end because all of these people are major people, and it's like I didn't want to, so I'm sorry for this breaking up the show. We'll get back to fun stuff and all that shit, but there is a person at the end. I have another person at the end. I just want to give us a break here, but Ace Frehley of Kiss, one of the great guitar players, probably one of the more influential guitar players of being real about it. But also, recently, this is not a joke. My son's gotten into Kiss because they were in the Scooby Doo, the one that Simple Plan did the theme song to, and Kiss was in an episode, and then he wanted to learn about Kiss. Kiss is not even in that episode. Simple Plan had more in their episode than Kiss did, but he thinks Kiss is really cool, and he is sad that Ace Frehley's died. I don't think he really knew many of their names, but we listened to the Kiss live album, the 72 live album, today while he was playing. And he likes just listening to them and watching videos of them. So it was sad. And right when I'm not even joking here, right when playing more Kiss, like the Kiss Go and like Rock and Roll All Night, and he loves the Kiss stuff. So we've actually been listening to Kiss more recently. But it's sad to see one of the original Kiss guys go. They were probably the first band that wanted to be a brand. As the quote is often said, most bands want to be the Beatles, but Kiss wanted to be Coca-Cola. But I will say, Kiss might have been the first real influencers that wanted to be a brand and be all-encompassing capitalism before anybody. They're probably more influential in that than anybody actually knew. They would be. I talked about the voice actors last week, but he was a great guitar player. He had to deal with fucking Gene Simmons, who I mean, is kind of an asshole. But Ace Frehley, a great guitar player. He wore the makeup well, and Kiss was an icon of the '70s, an icon of publicity. But it's also a fairly solid man. And the fact that, like, a 4-year-old in uh in 2025 isn't known as crazy. No, he's really. I was like, man, this kid is like really into stuff that was cool in 1973. Well, he likes modern stuff. It's funny. It's like Kiss and Woody Woodpecker. I was like, oh man, this is not even old shit that I'm necessarily into. So I'm glad he likes his own old shit. There, but it's sad. I mean, Ace really is a major rock persona. So, but yeah, I say Kiss Alive. I forgot about the overdubbing thing. Alex, you're right about that. But mostly, or only rock and roll for you, or I do like the Kiss Go. I was made for loving you, babe. I like that song. I don't fucking care. It's good. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say it. I don't think we wouldn't have Taylor Swift as she's now without Kiss. Maybe that's not what you want me to say, but it's true. But Kiss also, I think Kiss like started the whole like branding of metal, everything like that. Wasn't Dimebag Daryl in a Kiss coffin? I believe. I don't know if that's true or not. Is it just a rumor? Anyway, we're gonna talk about. Okay. So what we're gonna do here? There is another person. If you're gonna say what about this person, we'll talk about them at the end before the break, for the record. But however, we're going to talk about the box office and Tron Ares because I didn't want to do two Tron Ares things. To be clear, no, Kiss was in. I think it's What's New Scooby Doo. They're in an episode. They're like barely in it, and I think only Paul Stanley talks. But he thought Kiss was cool. But I mean, if you're a kid and you see Kiss, I get it. I didn't see Kiss. I just saw. I didn't know that. He got Eddie Van Halen's Bumblebee guitar. Thank you for that, Alex. That's amazing. I mean, it sucks that he died, obviously, but that's cool. That makes me want to cry a little bit. All right. So this was a bad weekend at the box office, not just because Tron flopped hard. Not that, don't let Austin go off, guys. He'll go hard. On Tron Ares. It did bomb pretty bad, but this weekend's box office was actually lower than it was a year ago. We had a very good September. We're not having a good October. We're not doing good in October. Fuck, it is. Jesus. Oh man. No, I know Kiss had their own Scooby. I don't really want to watch. I've always heard it's bad. But anyway, so but yes, this was a record low for the year. Everyone's saying we're going to do better than 2025. Basically, we're all hoping Zootopia 2, Wicked 2, and Avatar 3 save us from this. I might be forgetting somebody, but sort of those three. And maybe Chainsaw Man. Probably not. And Shelby Oaks. Maybe? No. Anyway, but it wasn't a great weekend. Willie Mullman said, time to put Kiss Meets the Phantom Paradise on TV as tribute. You know what? You know what? Let's get this Sven Gulli should play Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park on Me TV. I want to see that shit. Let's do it. Let's do it. Actually, I'm call it. Does anyone have the Sven Gulli's number? Anyway, cheers. Cheers to you. That's a good point, but I want it with the Sven Gulli now. I watch too much over the air TV. That's like, it's like, what do you mean you run a channel and all you do is, I actually, you know what? I watched I didn't bring this up. I did that Gillian Anderson thing. I watched an X-Files about the Jersey Devil. Even though I know a lot of people hate that episode, I had a good time. I was like, man. And also I realized there's a channel that just plays like 5 episodes of the X-Files. Broadcast TV rules. Now they don't give a shit. Anyway. Like when they gave a shit, not so great. But now that like clearly whoever's running it takes a nap, it just like hits play all. It's excelente. All right. Sorry. Let's. Sorry. All right. So let's just talk about the box office and then Tron in general and how we got here. Tron opened at 36 million, which is actually lower than Tron Legacy did. Tron Legacy did not actually bomb. There's actually a lot of people brought up. It made sort of back its money in a little bit, but it was also over a Christmas holiday, which means Christmas holidays, and we've talked about this before, but I'll bring it up. It made 45, but Christmas you can basically make an opening Friday number for like 5 days. And if you make like 20 million for 5 days, that equals a good number, but you just won't have a huge peak number. Same with like Avatar did that twice. A lot of movies do that where you don't get these like $100 million days, or like Mufasa. People are talking about that because it's going to be supposedly another Lion King. It's the same situation with Tron Legacy. The problem with Tron Ares is it opened in October, and October 36. This is the kind of thing you need a good weekend for. So supposedly the deal with this is there was a Joseph Kaczynski before he blew up with Top Gun Maverick and F1. He did go to Disney, and apparently everyone was down to do it again. At the time, what I had always read is Disney didn't have a release date because they had, Marvel and Pixar, and they're doing so well, and they're like, we don't need a Tron Legacy sequel, man, forget it. And so they didn't do it. But then apparently, somehow, Jared Leto, this isn't a joke, is a big fan of the first Tron, and he wanted to be in the next Tron movie. And apparently, whoever was running Disney for a while was a big champion of Jared Leto. This is like, I read this in the Hollywood Reporter thing. I found it ridiculous. So, Jared Leto kept pushing like, oh man, I really want to do this Tron thing. And the studio heads were on his side and were like, yeah, we should let him do it. And apparently also Disney was like, well, we do have all this money wrapped up in like Tron rides. And we do like this brand maintenance thing that Steve Jobs made up and stuff. So let's do it because we have this guy. Apparently Jared Leto actually got paid pretty well for this movie. I think it's like his biggest paycheck was Tron Ares. Because he produced it as well, because he was developing it since like 2017. I read he got involved, and he yeah. So apparently he did get like what they said a 7-figure producer deal, and then a 7-figure deal for his acting, which is okay. I'm not going to tell you how I feel about it, but I think you're getting it. No, he was flat out producer. He was not an executive producer. He got the producer credit. So he probably gets, I don't know what a piece of Tron Ares does for you, but I guess if it does something for him. I feel bad for people like Gillian Anderson and Greta Lee, who this was their big Hollywood thing and stuff. But Jared Leto, really championed this for a long time. And it was his baby. And I think Disney was like, well, we're not doing as much Marvel, and Star Wars is on hold, and like, I guess. And then I actually didn't realize I reviewed this guy, the guy who directed Tron Ares' movie, Kon-Tiki, years ago. So I've actually kind of seen his early thing, and then, yeah. But Jared Leto, yes, this is his passion project, and Disney, to be honest, like, I joked on Twitter, like, I think Disney made it more just to get Jared Leto out of their offices to stop talking about this fucking movie. But it's like, I don't understand, like, nobody went like giving Jared Leto a big $170 million movie that he stars in was a total disaster idea. Like, did you not see what happened with Suicide Squad? Did you not see what happened with Morbius? And they just like wouldn't let it go because he had enough like executives on his side, and it worked out. This is like, I do think like everyone's like, oh well, Disney only does this when they desperately need it. I think this is more of a sign that like Disney's management skills, and they're like kind of like they're thinking more about the brand overall. because they're really not thinking about like, is this a good move? Will this make money? They're like, yeah, but it'll help the brand. I don't think this does in a lot of ways. I had heard that yeah, it was like Disney paid Nine Inch Nails because they had Trent Reznor already doing the score or something, where like part of the deal was to get them to do it to like help the movie and bring more money in, like Tron Legacy. I think Nine Inch Nails did a great score, although it's weird because it's just like, I think, I don't know. Part of me is like, I think I like the Ninja Turtle score more and other scores more, but it is like, I would say it is one of the better scores. And it's like the Nine Inch Nails songs are cool. Except for the song he has where it's like that woman singing. I don't know if that's his wife. I wasn't into that song. But other than that, but apparently, yeah, they did like pay out to get the Nine Inch Nails branding and like, here's a new Nine Inch Nails album with, even though like, it sounds like Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross. I don't know. What's the difference between that and Nine Inch Nails? But it is weird. Like, Nine Inch Nails hasn't really scored a movie until this. It's usually Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. Although I think, isn't this just Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross? So I don't. What's if anyone can tell me the difference? It does sound more Nine Inch Nailsy than the most scores, but and it was a good score. But I do think it's like this shows more of Disney's very bad management skills that no one went like, we're spending on Jared Leto, like, and he's going to be in all the posters. Like, there's a huge poster of him in Times Square, and I'm like, is anyone like? It just didn't seem like they really were thinking, and I don't know. There's certain things I just don't think they really thought out what they were doing with doing it. But yeah, he Alex is like, there is a difference. Thank you. I mean, they do have like songs with Trent Reznor singing and stuff, but it just like Disney needs to like really rethink a lot of stuff. I think if you're making movies like this. Also, apparently, adjusted for inflation, Tron 1 made about $90 million. So, or Tron 1 did, and this people are saying it's gonna struggle to hit that. So I think it will be a bigger bomb than the original Tron. So yeah. But moving on from that, let's talk about other movies. And there was actually other bombs this week too, which is interesting. First off, Taylor Swift only did the 1 week. That's over. They released the music video that they were playing on Hello Eggplant Man. That they were playing last weekend. She released the music video, and I think all the visualizers and all that. So it's all available. I'm not sure how that all works, but it's not in theaters, and she's not playing in the countries that needed longer times to go over it for censorship reasons. So that is gone. But Roofman opened in second at actually 9 million when it came out in the final numbers. This is actually pretty good for an original movie. For what it is, I think it didn't open bigger than the Smashing Machine. Oh, it's almost outgrossed the Smashing Machine. Holy shit! Wow. Ooh, and I think it costs a lot less. I don't know about that, but apparently Channing Tatum has been talking more about how he does some movies that he just does, for money and stuff like that, and passionate about. And Channing Tatum, like he worked with Sonnenberg a lot. He does have pretty good taste. I'm with you, Nat and Vox64 on that. I do actually want to see Roofman. I'm curious about it, but it is interesting. It did as well as much as everyone was like, thank you for clearing that up, Alex. You're right. But it's actually kind of interesting. Like Filter was in the touring band. I think a lot of the members of Filter were, as I recall. I might be wrong about that. But I do think it shows there is more faith in original stuff. And I noticed there wasn't enough talk about that as much as the failure of Smashing Machine, which kind of shows you where the industry press is moving, because there probably should have been more emphasis on, hey, Channing Tatum pushed a movie that was like not a big star thing, was more of an indie thing, and made 9 million in October. That's actually good overall. Whatever. One Battle After Another still is holding well despite it falling and stuff like that. We're about 55 million, which is really good as for a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I believe it is the third highest grossing movie in the fall after Demon Slayer and The Conjuring 3, which is pretty good, or Conjuring 4, whatever the fuck. Gabby's Dollhouse is also holding really well, probably because there's no family shit coming out till Zootopia 2. So Gabby's Dollhouse could coast, but it's only made about 27 million. the other things, Demon Slayer. We have a bunch of Demon Slayer stuff. Demon Slayer is now the highest grossing international film in America ever. It broke the record from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Obviously not adjusted for inflation because the movie's 25 years old. However, yes, the highest grossing of international film in American history is Demon Slayer. There's been some debate: is Crocodile Dundee one? Is this one? Is this one? Whatever. But as the records and as we keep them now, Demon Slayer is the highest grossing one. It is also in the top 5 worldwide of the year, outgrossing Superman. So that is how big anime is. This is the biggest anime release, bigger than Superman, which is actually interesting because we are not covering it as much as Superman, are we? But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. It's just like insane to me how big Demon Slayer is. I don't think Chainsaw Man's gonna do those kind of numbers, but I think it'll do pretty good actually. This is one that not many people are talking about. There was this movie called Kiss of the Spider Woman. It opened at 13th with $891,000. It's like a big musical thing. Jennifer Lopez was in it. Jennifer Lopez was in it. Apparently, she was very good, but it didn't do very well. I've heard it was pretty decent, but I don't think I'll see it. But it really, like, even in New York, which is, I think it's a musical and stuff, there is more hype around it. It didn't really, nobody cared. So it's really unfortunate for that movie there. And After the Hunt opened in 6 theaters, 19th, which is actually pretty good. It had a pretty high per screen average. Bigger than Tron Ares, which is not a indictment of Tron. I think it had the biggest of the year. And if I had legs, I'd kick you. I want to see that, but it's not really playing in many places. But then I watched the trailer and was like, ooh, my life. I don't know if I want. I'd much rather watch, Tron bikes than like see it. I don't know. I would like, it looks like a good movie, but I don't need to be more depressed. Yeesh. All right. No, I would like to see it, but it's also like not at any Regals yet and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm open to it, but I am like, I don't know if I need. For me, it's like, I don't know. I'm interested, but I'm like hesitant, but interested, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not against it, but I'm like, wow, I have to deal with it. It's like, anyway, not to the extreme that woman is, but we'll see. Rose Byrne looks great, however. Super Kirby Dude said, by the way, I was listening to an old Pizza Party podcast and you predicted Tron 3's release date back in 26. Are you serious? Are you a future predictor? Could you, what, is that true? Did I guess 2025? Did I guess Jared Leto? I'm really curious about this now. If you can send me the time code, that'd be amazing. Cheers to you, Cheers to you, Super Kirby Dude. Cheers to you. That's amazing. I didn't know that. And we have a very generous super chat from we're hit 40, so we'll do the flash of lights after this. From Nat and Box 64 said, as for one battle after another, not being able to break even in theaters. Oh, I'll talk about this in a. Fucking lights! Don't attack me. I know you want to do the thing. Sorry. Let me get back to that. Was it yeah, Super Kirby Dude? Seriously, post this. You have the timestamp, but if you just have the episode, I'm curious to listen to this. Sorry, that's very interesting. All right, Natbox for thank you for the generosity. Said it did not have generic comic relief that much. Natbox 64. As for one battle after another, not being able to break even in theaters. Look, at the end of the day, it won't really matter in the long run. This is a type of movie that will only do very well on HBO and TNT. First off, I have more to. I think I've talked about that later. But first off, cheers to you, Natbox 64, and thank you very much. If I didn't do cheers before, that's very nice of you. Basically, 2 things about the production of this movie. It was made because after Warner Brothers sort of did the Project Popcorn, which is where they post. You can post it on Discord or in the comments of this video. I will let that go if they say you're not allowed to, or I need to observe it or something. Or you can post in the chat if you want. They made it to get Hollywood people to care about them again, to not lose faith in Warner Brothers. So it losing money is Warner Brothers deserves that. Secondly, it is going to play a while, and I read they're going to lose like $100 million, but I was like, I don't really care if it does because of why Warner Brothers had to to make it, which was because they screwed up with their HBO Max promotion thing. But I agree, it is not the movie. Like, I think they knew they were going to lose money on it. But also Warner Brothers had a stellar year. Didn't they have like 7 movies open to over $40 million? Like, Weapons cost nothing and made money. So it's really like not like it's Disney with Tron Ares is a major failure for that studio, and they keep having bombs. Warner Brothers, it's like, I mean, I think you're okay, and then your 2027 is going to be big with Superman 2, Minecraft 2, and Final Destination, whatever number that is. So it's like, I think they're fine, to be honest with you. But I think the problem with Paul Thomas Anderson movies and film things is people are so passionate. Everyone else has to. That is true. He is friends with Mike DeLuca. He has to. People are so passionate about it, everyone has to like counter it. But I think what people don't understand when people get upset about these movies is that like these movies people are passionate about, but they're the only people. But I do think like this will play like, awards things like this. I think it'll probably end up making at least $100 million based on like airline stuff, and people watch it on airline, people watch it on this, people, they'll like really, it will have legs, and I think they know that. And it's also like, does Warner Brothers want to work with DiCaprio again? Do they, will other talent work with Paul Thomas Anderson and work with the studio? So to them, it's like more of a long-term thing, and they knew that before. So it's not really the disaster that, but I did read those headlines today that they're going to lose like $100 million. And I was like, yeah, okay, but you release Minecraft and Sinners and Superman and Weapons and this and that. I think you're good. You can lose $100 million. Me, that'd be not good, but we'll see. Anyway, I think that's all the box office. Box office was interesting this week, but let's move on. Is that everything? Okay, speaking of Warner Brothers, I have a whole Warner Brothers section, so that's Nat and Box 4. Thank you for the transition point here. Pamela Addy and Mike DeLuca were re-upped for Warner Brothers after there was early in the year. They're like, they should be fired. And then, although they do, most people are saying they did orchestrate. They very much orchestrated. They moved like The Bride. They're like, this might not do well, so let's move you to 2026. So they did orchestrate a release strategy so that 2025 would be what it is. And they're trying to do the same with 2027. But hey, that's being a studio head, and they worked it. It does work out for you. So they were very smart. Good for them. They did a really good job. As for, these are sort of two things, and one is a dumb rumor, but I'll bring it up anyway. Paramount did make a bid for Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers said they have to, because of shareholders and stuff, they have to report this. This is not a rumor thing. They legally have to. They said they rejected the offer, so Paramount will not bid for Warner Brothers. No one's sure what's going on with Netflix unless that happened while I was talking my bullshit here. But they have, because it's like a big offer, like I think legally they have to talk about it. So it's not a rumor thing or anything like that. There were rumors after that James Gunn would be out if Paramount took over. No, that is not what's going on. And I know there's some controversy over the Peacemaker thing. The Peacemaker numbers are not big enough, regardless if it was a success or failure, to sink that fucking guy. It's just not happening. And honestly, what James Gunn is doing is more enticing to a studio. If they were, I do not think they're going to restart the DC thing again. People who think that are fucking idiots. I think it's just like people are weird about him and want to have another reason to be upset and spread rumors. There's been no indication that that is true. If they know something and have like, an audio clip where the Ellison said they hate James Gunn, we've never heard anything like that. So whatever. I know James Gunn should shut the fuck up, and he talks too much on social media, and I agree with you on that. But like, they're not firing him. He had one of the 10 highest grossing movies of the year that restarted a brand, and they're very excited for Supergirl and Superman 2. They're not getting rid of him. Anyone who thinks that is an idiot. So but I kept seeing that rumor come up. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, that's a good point, Emily T. The MCU did. Oh, I forgot to do the lights. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay. There we go. There's two things that are interesting here. Oh shit, it is almost midnight. Well, how many? Ooh. Okay. Well, we're running late, baby. All right. The Heat 2 rumor was that the reason it sold to Amazon is it was pretty much told to them that DiCaprio has agreed before the sale. We'll see what happens there. But that's been true. We also learned there's been rumors about X Files that there's a possibility that it'll be the X Files is going to be run by Ryan Coogler. There'll be we're no one sure it's at least going to be one black lead. There's a lot of rumors around Danielle Detweiler, who is from um, Till, that she would be the female actor. No one sure who's going to be the other actor in the X Files. I actually think, I was thinking we don't hear enough about Gerard Carmichael, and we were hearing a lot more about him, like that Safdie Brothers 48 Hours that never happened and stuff like that. So, I'm curious. That's just someone I'm making up. That's not a. I've never heard that from anyone else. But we are probably going to hear about X Files, Ryan Coogler's X Files casting soon. I'm very curious what he's going to do with that. I wouldn't be surprised because I know Kumail Nanjiani's a big X Files guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he stops by. Again, I know he was in the reboot. Cheers to you, Medela Butterfly. I love your little one. I love the Medela Butterfly $1 super chats. Cheers to you. Okay, I'm going to try to go. I was going to talk about the Slop House. I don't have enough AI slop to talk about, but other than there's that article that Sora is going to let users make like Marilyn Monroe in Game of Thrones. Um, what the fuck is wrong with that's not even good casting. Like, you're gonna make AI, you're not even gonna do it right. We're gonna do the best Game of Thrones send up I ever saw. I'm not the biggest Game of Thrones person. Someone did Game of Thrones as like a '90s fantasy show. That was amazing. I've yet to see. Whoa, damn, Alex, holy shit, thank you, man. Alex is now 30. Hey, happy birthday! Happy everybody in the chat, give Alex a happy birthday. It's very generous of you, man. Thank you very much. Have a happy birthday. I hope you have a good don't have 30 beers. But don't do that. But do something 30 times. Play an awesome guitar solo, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Let's just have these lights going until the break then. Cheers to you, man. Thank you. You're awesome, man. You can play some good guitar, man. I don't know if you want to post your Instagram and stuff like that, but feel free to. Um, or in the comments. People can post links. I will, unless they don't let you do that or something. But thank you very much, man. Congratulations. That's some good news, man. Thank you for the generosity. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we're gonna have the lights going for a little bit. All right. But yeah, I don't really get the AI thing. It's just like, why aren't you like? To me, it's like Linda Hamilton would be sort of anyway, whatever. But the best one was someone editing it, not random ass person. Like, to me, it's like, wouldn't you put Marilyn Monroe in a Sabrina Carpenter video? That's interesting. Like, whatever. Okay, check out his Instagram. I'm sorry if I'm posting, but you have good shit, man. You're good at guitar, for real. You're really good. He's a really good guy. And happy birthday, man. That's fucking rules. Awesome. All right. Let's do. I should probably finish it because I know my energy's gonna crash. Oh my god, so many. Too many. Okay, some of this hopefully I'll remember next time. Oh, too many things. All right. Let's go. I knew this was a packed show, but now it's really hitting me. All right. The Michael Jackson movie is finished shooting. Apparently, the trailer will be before we talked about that before. Apparently, they say it's just one movie, and it will just be more of the positive, fun stuff. So I'm assuming it's just the Quincy Jones albums. But they've been acting like the second movie. Sony's been acting like the second movie. Will be all the negative stuff, is what they're saying. I don't think that'll ever happen, but it is cute that they keep telling us that. So whatever, that's what they're saying. In other news, we found out that yeah, I think a lot of people don't actually who like Marilyn Monroe don't watch Marilyn Monroe. So my sister-in-law is not one of those people. She really Mickey Rose. She really likes Marilyn Monroe. She watches the movies because she actually likes Marilyn Monroe. There are people who really like Marilyn Monroe, and they deserve the credit, and she does. Anyway, Rise of Skywalker apparently came out that the budget was under $600 million because they had to file the paperwork in public to get a tax break in England. Um, okay. Apparently those budgets for the Star Wars were like pretty extreme, according to Forbes and stuff like that. Some of them were released, some of them weren't. But apparently, yep, Rise of Skywalker cost a little close to $600 million. So I don't even know if it was really profitable. What a ridiculous thing. All right, let's just go over some trailers here, and then just a few things. First, the Mercy trailer, which is this weird AI thing where Chris Pratt invented AI, and it's now the judging him, and he's gonna die. It looks really bad. It looks like this. Look like this year's War of the Worlds. We also got a trailer for the Merrily Roll On, which looked like a very professional pro shot of the musical. I don't normally talk about this, but Jonathan Groff was very nice to Sophie, and all the parents Teresa's therapy always talk about how wonderful he was. I was not there for that, but I will give him props on the show for that. And it actually looked like they did beyond a pro shot, like they did a really good job. So if you're into that, I know Linkletter is working on a more like a time skip one and stuff, but it looked pretty good. To be honest with you, the trailer for Primate, that looks like an awesome January horror movie where this family's have a chimp as a pet, and then he gets rabies and attacks them. Looks awesome. We got a Bat Family trailer that looks like a lot of fun, and then finally the Wonder Man trailer. I did hear about that they used AI in certain places. I thought it was more of just a setting up of a concept trailer more than more than what it was, but it looks like it could be something. Thank you, man. Man, you're always been a good dude, and you've been a good dude to me. And I hope you have a really good time tonight and all that stuff. And hey, congratulations on seeing ZZ Top. I'm still jealous about that. The Daniels next movie is, but seriously, happy birthday. That's fucking awesome. And thank you for that super chat there. The Daniels next film is going to be released. It was pushed off the calendar. There's some debate about that. Is releasing on November 19th, 2027. Take your time, dudes. You have a big thing to follow up. I'm going to do two things, the Obits, and then we'll just take a break because I'll try to save some of this for next. I'm sorry. Sometimes there's just too many things and there's only so much time. Mighty Mouse and the Terry Tunes are coming to MeTV Tunes. This is starting basically the Sunday after Halloween. In addition, they are going to play the Impossibles, I believe the Ralph Bakshi thing, as well as Ralph Bakshi's Mighty Mouse, The New Adventures. I think it's going to be a part of a 2-hour block. It's going to be on Sunday afternoons, which is the most amazing time slot, but they are actually releasing it. I saw Jerry Beck, who is a lot involved in MeTV Tunes, posting it as well. So if you've ever really wanted to get into Terry Tune stuff, as well as finally see Ralph Bakshi's The New Adventures of Mighty Mouse, the MeTVs will play it, which I think is fucking awesome. And then another show I like, Pop Culture Jeopardy, is moving to Netflix in 2026 for season 2. I really like Pop Culture Jeopardy. It was a really good show. Colin Jost was a good host, and it is coming back in 2026 for season 2 on Netflix instead of, it was on Prime previously. If you haven't checked, I think it's really good. Infinity Train season 7 is next week. What? Oh, I see what you did. Sorry. Super Courier Dude, I'm back. It was episode 65 at 107:26. Link in the Discord. Thank you for doing that. Okay, cool. I don't know if I'll do it tonight, but I will check that out tomorrow. Cheers, you. That's interesting. I'm curious how right I was. Thank you for telling me that. I've never. This is like the pro Jared thing. And I was like, am I in trouble? And I was like, oh no. I still don't know who that Jared guy is. Anyway, cheers, James Kirby, dude. I'm not sure. I think it was Cornbread who posted this in Discord. This is the final obit. But casting director Jackie Birch, who cast Die Hard, a lot of classic movies, a lot of the John Hughes stuff, a lot of awesome stuff like that, died this past week. She was a major casting director who cast probably, there's like, when I kept reading articles, there are so many big, this isn't a joke by the way, there are so many big movies she casted, every article had different big movies she casted. Like that's like I've never seen that. So I really gotta say, R.I.P. to Jackie Birch, an amazing casting director. Like I couldn't see the same thing on the few articles I read. I was pretty surprised. All right. Oh, I do. Oh, okay. I realize I have a short small talk after the break that is related to Hell's Bells. All right, I'm going to. I don't know why I'm. Oh, Hell's Bells is also a. I didn't really. I forgot that it's an AC/DC song because I was too focused on Mr. Oob, whatever. All right. First, I want to say thank you all for your generosity so far tonight. I am going to use the bathroom. We're going to talk about Hell's Bells. Al Vasquez. I'm sorry about that, Al Vasquez. I apologize. Um, um, I'm going to take a break. Then we will talk about the because I thought this was horror related and it is considered the sort of follow up to the Skeleton Dance. Um, and it is in the public domain, and I wanted to talk about continue to talk about the silly symphonies since they're all time specific. We'll talk about that, and then do questions, and then that'll be it for tonight. Thank you all very much. I will be. What's this one? Nolan asked Owen Dennis about mods. Did he really? I forgot about that. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. I forget. Did he really do that? I forgot about that. I just remember when he told me about how they made. Cheers to you, Austin. How they made regular show go to space. It sounded like the most regular show decision I'd ever heard in my life. Anyway, cheers to you, Austin. Okay. Okay. Let me use the bathroom real quick, and then we will. Oh wait, no, I need the bumper. I was gonna put my picture up, but okay. What does it say? Have you reviewed something you've already reviewed? Yeah, a couple times, I think. Ponyo, at least. It was Izzy? I'm curious who it was. Anyway, I will be right back after this. Okay, I am back. I thought, I don't know, it was cool playing the little song there. I think that was kind of neat. Been wanting to play like a different song, but as we remember last week, that did not work out. So, anyway, I should probably do a stream where I just, a random stream where I just test stuff. And it's just like I don't really talk about it, I just test some stuff. Anyway, at some point, we'll see. Anyway, um, I think I've reviewed a couple things. Usually, if I do, I unlist the one I didn't like. I've done Public Enemy twice. I've done Ponyo. Uh, it's been a little bit. I forget what else, but there's a couple. I have thought of a few I would like to do. I would like to redo 1010. I don't like the review that I did. Well, thank you for hanging out, Medilla Butterfly. Thank you very much. I'm probably gonna stop the flashing lights. If we hit, where are we at? Oh, we could hit 80, I guess. But if we hit 80, I'll do it during the questions. I'm gonna not have it during the Hell's Bells part, if you don't mind. But if we hit 80, I'll do it again. But the one thing I want to tell you, before I talk about the Sub Fireworks thing, I was watching sometimes when like my wife's making dinner and we're just hanging out. I put on MeTV Tunes, and which by the way they played nothing but cartoon shorts from about 7 o'clock to like I think it's like 11 or something. But we just put it on, and it was a Porky Pig short, and it was directed by Ub Iwerks, and the other two animators credited were Chuck Jones and Bob Clampett. And like I saw that, and I was like, "Holy shit! I think we should watch this." Um, Jeez, computer, it's okay. It was just like an amazing, uh, amazing original, kind of amazing list of people there. I should redo. Uh, no, it's okay, Alex. It's okay if people do or not. I mean, I will say YouTube search isn't great, and there's times where like, although, oh yeah, I did learn. I thought I reviewed Blue Valentine, and I don't know what happened to that review. It's not on YouTube anymore. I guess I took it down. But you can search, but like always ask because sometimes the search on YouTube just doesn't bring shit up. So you even if you know, I don't know if I would redo my original How to Train Your Dragon because that was like that was I think that was my first review ever shared on like Reddit and stuff. So I have a kind of a sense of pride in that one. Even though yes, I could do a better job now, I guess. But like I'm just sort of like that was like the first one I really used music for, and it's the first one that it wasn't super popular like people would find and stuff. So I'm like I don't really want to redo that one, but I did occur to me when the new one came out, so it wasn't uh was not something that is lost on me. But I am, even though it's like with the pictures and those kind of shitty and stuff, I have a sense of pride in it. So, but I have thought that as well. It is a good movie. All right. But yeah, I forget. People forget. Up Iwerks worked on some Looney Tunes. I think that's, and the fact that like he directed Chuck Jones and Bob Clampett, like it's kind of crazy. People forget that about Up Iwerks' career. I don't know if I'm gonna try to do all these silly symphonies that are based on seasons because it's like I think more people check them out because they'll see like, oh, it's springtime and oh that's a springtime shorter Hell's Bells and it's Halloween and the next one's a Christmas one, so it's sort of, I think it sort of goes together. But I think at a certain point in the next year or so, we'll run out of Byrick Soul and Symphonies. I'd like to finish his Mickey Mouse ones at some point, just to bring that up. But anyway, let's get into it. All right. So today I'm going to talk about Hell's Bells. This is a 1929 animated short directed by Ub Iwerks for the Walt Disney Studio, or considered as it's called in the credit title card, a Walt Disney comic. This is considered by reviews I found and by a lot of people to be sort of the kind of follow up or the successor to, or yes, the follow up to Skeleton Dance. I actually found reviews from 1929 that say that, and I can see why they say that. This is actually the third or fourth, is the fourth silly symphony overall. Is there's been, I guess yeah, it's fourth Silly Symphony overall, and their fourth film, released in 1929, and it sort of shows their fifth is The Merry Dwarves, which we'll talk about around Christmas time. Um, it's sort of different than the Skeleton Dance, and I think the Skeleton Dance, why that worked is it has a spookiness to it. It's sort of like watching an abandoned house video on YouTube, and then skeletons start dancing, and that would freak you the fuck out. And there's a certain part of horror is the idea of not knowing. That's the most, especially now, not understanding something, not be able to define something. That's scary and spooky. And Skeleton Dance felt very weird and strange, and like, where did you come up with this? This is just like, this just takes place in hell. That's literally the whole short is in hell. Like, not like, how you feel about the town you grew up in. Literally, literally, this is actually takes place in hell. It's, you see a lot of demons walking around. You see the devil now, or Satan. Now, I want to bring this up, and I want nobody. I think people are going to start laughing, but Walt Disney is the credited voice of Satan in this. So yes, there is a cartoon where Walt Disney literally plays Satan. This isn't a joke. In 1929, Walt Disney was actually the devil. He also voiced Cerebus, but that's less funny. And it's also funny that Ub Iwerks is the only one to get his boss to literally voice the devil and then give him a spanking and kill him and throw him in fire. Ub, you were working on a way. I mean, he quit. I think he quit before 1930. He was really going for it. I appreciate nobody's fucked over their boss in animation in more time, quicker than Ub Iwerks. I love it, dude. This film has no plot. It's basically like watching the animators go off. The animators, and I came up with a better list this time. Ub, who also directed, Les Clark, Wilford Jackson, who directed a lot of the classic Disney films and was one of the 9 old men, co-directed Cinderella and Snow White, and Mary Tebb was the ink artist. I don't know what that means, but good for her. There's not a lot. This is basically like a lot of the Silly Symphonies is, and I think a Skeleton Dance was a hit and really cool. Everyone was like, hey, just go off. You're really having a lot of fun here. It is sort of like, the thing is this is sort of like shorts of the time. They're like, they didn't really have a script. They're like, who has a gag? Who wants to do this? How does the flow go? They weren't working on it in a, one thing I actually like about animated shorts is like you can sort of kind of vibe out with them, which I think is like something that like not a lot of animation or storytelling now, like I'm saying, is like everything needs a logic to it. Everything needs a reason. Like, how can you have a plot hole? Things are supposed to make sense. And this doesn't really care about it. Most of, like, the devil's playing music on bone instruments is really cool. The 3-headed dog looks a little like Mickey Mouse in some shots. And the devil, there's a bunch of little devils who are doing dances, and there's one that gets hit on the wall that's spiky and becomes this weird, like, to me looks like a German 1920s, like weird German, like Bauhausy kind of drawing, which I thought was really odd and interesting. I'm sure that's where we'll get to the 1929 reviews called this film pretentious. I think that was really cool. I think it was an interesting, weird design choice. It makes no sense, but this is a thing in hell, and you don't know what hell's like unless you do. What does that say about you? But I sort of like the fun of this, the weirdness of it. This would be a good one to play after the Skeleton Dance, or if you're watching some horror stuff. I don't know if it would stick out at you as much as Skeleton. Like, everyone remembers Skeleton Dance. It's like one of the biggest animated shorts of all time. But in this, it's like, okay, you watch these devils play around, and then one of them doesn't want to get eaten by Satan, and then Satan gets got, and that's about the whole thing. Satan drinks warm milk, which I don't understand. Like, is he taking a nap? What was that about? I don't understand. But some of the reviews of this, these are amazing reviews from 1929. By the way, this is probably going to be in the tweet later. I will admit I plan this to be in the tweet. You're about to, if someone's like, what'd you do last night? You can be like, I watched a guy in his kitchen read to me reviews that are about 94 years old of an animated short. I think I'm not describing that well, but it is like, this is a way to spend a night. Having me read off quotes from a Wikipedia from Cartoon Reviews from 1929. This is really the cartoon brew of the late 20s. Um, okay, here's from the Film Daily. I don't know what that is. Few laughs. Hell's Bells is evidently a follow up on the success of the Skeleton Dance, but it does not approach the offerings and laugh possibilities. I mean, I agree with that. It's it is pretentious as cartoons go, but I like that about it. Full of fire and brimstone with the sort of Jack and Beanstalk finish that is the best thing in it. Variety says moving cartoon pictures in Hades as the weirdest of places with its inhabitants of odd animal forms, all comedy of ghost story types, such as one musician using the backbone of hips of a human as his cello. Lots of laughs with unnatural comic effects as cartoons can create a peach filter. Oh man. Um it's interesting. I think this is a fun riff. It's an interesting cartoon, but it's not it's really not Skeleton Dance. I think a lot of these silly symphonies, one, they're making like 4 or 5 a year. I think the ingenuity in the like most like the early Mickey Mouses. We talk about the first four, but we don't talk about the ones after. It feels like they had all like how you develop anything, like all your passions in the beginning, and then it becomes a job. And this really much feels like Silly Symphonies and Walt Disney and all that stuff became a job for him. And I think that's sort of like you can sort of tell in this that that's what happened, and I think it's sort of unfortunate. But it is it is a lot of fun. I did have fun with it, but it isn't the most memorable. I think a lot of these are just like watching animators riff and have fun with it, and I think they did. But it just like just being in hell doesn't feel as scary because all of it sucks that way. But I wish they had I wish they had understood that what worked about Skeleton Dance is that it was this random like spooky place, and this is like will scare you even more in hell, and you're like that's not really I don't know, but it was a fun watching Ub and them riff and have fun with it and try to figure out kind of how to fill the time of an animated short, but it's not necessarily as entertaining or as innovative or anything like that, but it does play well with Skeleton Dance. Or if you're doing like a horror movie thing and you want to have like something in between, it would play well for that. But I don't think it stands out as much as some of the more notable ones. It's just a very good. I think it's a very good silly symphony. I like it more than the Terrible Troubadour, and maybe even Springtime really. But I don't think it necessarily achieves that classic level of anything. But it was a fun, creepy little Halloween short that's probably underappreciated by the Disney Corporation and is presently in the public domain. But it was at least a fun time and a spooky Halloween horror short in hell. Okay. I think it always is dropping out about, but I've not done Red Hot Mommy. I haven't done as many, but the Betty Boop ones I've done are kind of random, so I apologize. I don't have as many Patreon questions unless Austin sent me one and I missed it or something. I believe I just have a Sinram one. I'll hit refresh on the Patreon just to be sure, guys. Just to be sure. But I think it's just Sinram. This is a good show. I think it was a good show. I hope it was a good show for y'all. Yeah, we just have one. Okay. So for Sinram said, so Apple Plus and Peacock are merging or something? I can't think of a good question to ask you about this. It can be difficult. I'll come with relevant questions each week. Then remember that submitting Patreon questions isn't mandatory, so no question for me this week. Clearly I didn't read that. I should write questions below. Sorry. Okay, I guess it's just open for I'll check if anyone sent me one on anything else. Oh, Austin did send me something. I'm sorry, Austin. Okay, Austin did have a question. Here we go. I'll read it. How did I miss this? It was not okay. Apologies, Austin. Here we go. Here we go. Almost missed it. Hey, Jim. Hope you're well. Great show tonight. Sorry, sleepy last week. My question for this week is, what is the best Mel Brooks movie, or your favorite? My favorite. I think the best one is The Producers. Young Frankenstein, it's been a bit, but I remember liking that. Sorry about that, Austin. Um, but uh, I think my favorite might be Spaceballs because I've seen that one the most. But I think the best one is The Producers. Yeah, but Spaceballs or even Robin Hood Men in Tights. I still have fun with that one, but I'd say Spaceballs is probably my favorite. I own that one on Blu-ray at least. All right, Cornbread said Austin. Oh, Austin said he should. Okay, sorry about that. I answered it. Apologies. Somehow, all these social media things and messages sometimes you just kind of get lost, and it's anyway. Cornbread said, "Okay, let's do these questions, and then we'll. If anyone wants to, I guess we didn't make anyway. Thank you all. Yeah, yeah. Let's just do these questions and get out of here. How about that? Okay." Cornbread says, is it better we got Tron 3 now because we waited another 15 years? We have to deal with the AI generated, resurrected Jeff Bridges, and you're supposed to cry like Harold Ramis in the afterlife. Um, Probably, supposedly Disney has said, I forgot to mention this, that they are going to take a rest from Tron on the big screen. I actually don't get why you'd put it on the big screen anymore. I think that is a thing for Disney Plus. Like they should have been. I was always surprised they never did a Disney Plus thing with Tron because you could just do like an animated thing or a show or something like that. I think that would be great for Tron actually. But yeah, I've heard, people are like, oh, we'll just have to wait another 15 years. But this ad in the middle of the thing is so weird. I guess Twitch does that, so they got to do that anyway. Zane Powers, did you ever watch Silicon Valley? I watched like most of it, and then randomly I saw the ending, which I actually liked, but I saw a good portion of it. I liked the first season, but I think we fell off for whatever reason. And I mean, it's no King the Hill, I'll say that. Jortunes, question, drink of choice, either water or coffee or root beer. So I like root beer and Pepsi and all that stuff. So not plausible. Were they ever really, truly an Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Fuck yeah, they were. Don't take that away from us. Embla T, aren't we supposed to support Good Fortune to prove him that he didn't need those blood money? What? I don't understand that at all. Yes, maybe? I don't. Can you rank. Hold on. Can you rank all Jesus apostles from worst to best? I know Judas was a bitch, but other than that, I don't know. I could not name you any of them. Isn't there Peter, Paul, Mary, John, Paul, George, Ringo, Bob, Ted, and Alice, uh, Andre 3000, and Big Boy? Andre 3000 is the best one. Judas is the worst. All right. Which film you think would break even post theatrical? One battle after another, Tron Ares. Sorry. One battle after another. Tron Ares don't have a chance. Tron Ares, I think they actually cost the same, but I think one battle after another eventually has a better chance. Austin, you sent me something else. You sent me something else. Whoa, that's a lot of energy drinks. Good for you. Looks like an energy drink fridge. Was this to another question? I'm confused. Anyway, um, did you like Palm Strings if you saw it? I believe I did see Palm Strings. I think there's a review of it. I'm pretty sure. Nick what do you think about Comedy Central, Paramount Network, and TV Land getting rid of their paid programming? I've heard they have gotten rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, it's sad. I'm not on cable at all, so I think to most people, it's sort of like it was going to have to leave eventually, as sad as that is. Because I heard MTV stopped all their, like, just music channels. But I'm kind of like, Paramount should be putting that onto Pluto, to be honest. I think they could have found a better way to do that. Nathaniel Fogel, what's a Hanna-Barbera character you generally like to see a movie about? Top Cat would work. I think Top Cat, but it'd be animated. Peter Potamus. Two Stupid Dogs, maybe. Um, Zane Powers, with streaming services removing more and more content, how would you feel if by the end we were all left with is $100 monthly service that only has Dark City? I mean, I think only Gary should have to pay for that, and the rest of us just steals password. But If that's not the case, I wouldn't like that. But if it is, I'm all for that. Austin, did you see the Make America Crude Again was on last week tonight, a few weeks ago? No, I didn't. I haven't. I really have not kept up with last week tonight. Nathaniel Fogo, would you ever ride a light cycle? I mean, if I was in the Tronverse, sure. Not in Box 64. Last question for me: which era of Hanna-Barbera you think was the best? Either towards the end of the 90s or in the beginning to like the late 60s, I'd say. I think the 80s and that stuff is like very mixed bag. That's the problem with those. What do you think about Comedy Central not showing any original live action shows on their channels? I mean, I think that like sort of stinks, but that's sort of where it's going. I think again they should just move their shit to Pluto. Cornbread, with the live action cartoon Jim Carrey news, I'm going to bring up the fact that always makes my friend sad. Peter Briggs was trying in '97 to get Jim Carrey on Lupin the Third. Thoughts? I didn't know about that, but that sounds awesome. I wish that had happened. I'm actually surprised how, uh, you know, basically how uh heist heavy Hollywood is that Lupin the Third live action never happened before. To be honest with you. Does saying Tron will have does saying Tron will have a rest from the big screen the most nothing statement ever because every movie leads to a break. That yeah, that's true. Do you remember that annoying Pizza Party podcast member, Chris, the one that laughed too much and said Inside Out was overrated? He wasn't a member, I don't think, was he? Chris? Who the fuck is that? I don't remember that. I'm sorry. Um, who was that? Explain that to me. Uh, did you ever watch the show on Comedy Central from Nick Rohn called Digman? No, I didn't actually. I was confused about that, where it was, and it looked okay, but I never got to check it out. Do you like your skeletons scary or silly, Zane Powers? A little bit of both. Is it Medell Butterfly? How can we get live action Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe starting with the Jetsons? I hope we don't, but maybe. Zane Powers, what's next for the exciting career of Jared Leto? I mean, he's playing Skeletor still, so I think he's just going to move into supporting roles. I can't believe that guy is just like keeps going. It's so annoying. Question: you always say the issue of video games movies is the game studios have too much control, but on average, the modern video game movies succeed more often than fail. So is it really a problem? I think they've given more control to the director, but I also think they've found better directors that work well with the scripts. I do think they've loosened up because if you look at the Super Mario movie, you can tell that's by the Teen Titans guy. If you look at the Minecraft movie, you can tell that's by the Napoleon Dynamite guy. So I do think like Duncan Jones on Warcraft didn't work, or Ratchet and Clank didn't work. They found better. They found to like the Marvel thing or the best way a studio works. You find a director that works with your property, and then it like sings in a way. If you don't do that, it doesn't. The math doesn't work in a way, and I think that was probably part. But I do think like they were too controlling before, and but I also think they didn't have someone who could fight back in the best way or creatively in the best way. Zane Powers, how can you say you're not pro Jared when pro Jared beat the allegation and has continued his career? I don't know who he is, so good for him though. I guess I don't know. George or Jordan Bouchard said favorite action figure as a kid. I had like ones I would just carry around with me. There was a Ninja Turtle ones. There was a Spider-Man one. There was a Riddler one that I just carried around because I liked him for some reason. I don't know. So many Spawn figures. I really like the Spawn. Couldn't find your names through the backers list of Shelby Oaks. What happened? He wouldn't take my card. I don't know. Have you seen and did you like Small Soldiers? Georgians? I did review. There's a review of it somewhere. You should check it out. I remember liking it, but for more details, check out the video. I believe that won the movie review vote. Why does Jared Leto keep getting work? Audiences hate him, and he doesn't make the studios mad. I do not get the Jared Leto thing. So, heard Robert Englund is getting a star on the Walk of Fame. I saw that tonight. Good for him. He deserves it. I'm a little surprised. I mean, I guess they want to do one for spooky season. Did you ever make weird motions at your cat for fun watching on Confusing? I think I probably did. What's your opinion on the... Okay, we did that one, Nick Gerard. Did you see the Jeffrey the drafted a promo Channing Tatum for Roofman proving it's better than Tron Ares? I did see that. I thought that was cool. Did you think Tron would have done any better if Jared Leto wasn't starring it? There were theories that like, oh, if Ryan Gosling wanted to do better. I think it just a lot of it is Tron, but I think I do think he heard it. People said no, it didn't, but it did. Did you see the trailer for the French remake of The Incredible Shrinking Man starring Jean Darjeon? I didn't know about that. No, I'll try to check that out next time. Cornbread, they released season 1 of X-Men 97 leading into Deadpool and Wolverine to rebuild interest in X-Men last year, and season 2 is before Doomsday next year. Is this all a divisive trick from Cornbread? I don't know about that, but I do think it is interesting how well that keeps going over. Possibly a little bit, I think. Austin, I should end this soon. Sorry. Did you ever watch the Phantom cartoon from the 80s, Phantom 24? In the 80s, I did. I haven't watched it since, though. I don't remember that. Who hated Paddington? Okay, remember. Nice name, Paris. That begged to be on the podcast. It's funny how Nolan got so annoyed. I don't remember this Chris guy at all, man. Hey Sam, how's it going? What happened to the Pizza Party podcast? That's a whole thing. I'm not doing that tonight. Have you ever seen Town Uprising, the best Tron media? I've seen like parts. I really haven't even seen the whole episode, but it looked neat. I think I got everybody. Did I? What happened to the Pizza Party podcast? Ask Daft Peanut. That's what happened. All right. I think that is it. I want to give a special shout out to a lot of people tonight. Oh wow, it's like, I don't know. I'm kind of curious how you feel about it now. All right, let's all right, first off, let's give Alex a very happy birthday. Happy birthday on your 30th, man. Cheers to you. Cheers to you. Let's give a shout out before I go through all these. I want to give a thank you to Javier Portello, Black Sea Oxwinkle, Nattenbach64, Austin, all these Hatron, the super chats. Black Sea Oxwinkle, Nathaniel Foga, Austin, William Ellman, Super Kirby Dude, Nattenbach64, Mandela Butterfly, Alex, Super Kirby Dude, and Austin. I think we got everything there. I hope we did. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. Have a good night. Cheers to you all. I will see you all next week. I think this is a good show. Tomorrow there will be 2 shorts, I believe. I hope I get the timestamps done in a timely manner. If I don't, I apologize. Thank you very much. Have a good night. See you next time. Subscribe if you would like to, like the video or whatever, and have a good weekend. All right. See you later, and good night. Peace.